Welcome to the channel. This will be the last redrawn character. I got one more extra chapter for you all after this, and then we're gonna move on to the heroes. Alright, here we go. First, like I said in the other ones, if you've seen chapter 0, you know who this is and his other forms are, but this is the adolescent god of the series and the strongest character in in all of this series. It's the first version, not much to talk about. I was going for anyone doesn't know, this whole series, when I first made it back when I was like younger, this was based off of X-Men, so that's why the whole X became so big of a deal in this series, and this is a good example of it. I was trying to copy like Xavier, like Professor X or Professor Xavier from X-Men with the hovering items, like mind powers here. Then I wanted to give him his own personality, which is a sun god or like the Nemean lion or something like that. And then we have this form right here, which is the form you saw a little bit of in the episode 0. Then we have the newest version, which is this one. With this name, I put the X for like the villains. The villains have the X at the end of their names, and X hero for heroes. But this one is a neutral character in this story. He doesn't take any sides. He just keeps the balance of the world. So he's X hero, adolescent, judgment, god of chaos, hope, X. His roles are all of them. He is a magic, weapons, melee, tools, and tech character. He's all 5 at once. His backstory is simple. He is the progenitor, or the ancestor, you would call him in the story. He is the creator and was the first to go under the experiment of the X Project, making him the big example. The weapons is a long list of things, so let's get to those as well. We have the judgment eyes. Basically with these eyes, he can judge perfectly whether or not a person is good or bad. Based on that, he can decide whether or not they take away from the balance of good and evil in the world. And if they do, he finds some other purpose for them in the universe. Staff of Life, which is the staff he uses to bring others back to life or take a life if he has to. The Executioner's Blade, which acts as as in the name, the Executioner's Blade. He uses this fist, which I'll talk about later, to unsheath the sword. Kind of like in some of the gacha games where the characters have like floating hands that wield swords. That's what kind of vibe I was trying to do there. Then we have this one. Wait, hold up. Yeah, I was right. So here we have Clawbreaker. Basically, this is a weapon that restrains or breaks bodies, can snap people in two. Basically a torture device. Medusa's eye, an eye that he may gain from taking down a Medusa, and placed it in one of his remaining fist that also acts as a melee weapon, because the claws on the ends of it, the claws act as a deterrent other than just the eye on this hand. This right here kind of ripped, so you can't see the rest of it. And then we have Drill Breaker, kind of like this one, but this is just a very much a torture device. Now we get to this hand, the Fist of the Sun. The power of any punches produced by this fist is like it's the power of 1,000 suns. It's very painful to take damage from it. Then we have the final one, which is the Garb of Chaos, better known as the Garb of Balance. Kind of like a scale, this thing, the logo kind of like Tony Stark's pulsar on his chest. It can track good and evil, but it's like always active. So if he come across someone that's breaking the balance of good and evil, he can adjust that essentially on the fly. Now for the other stuff on him that's not a technical weapon, it's just a thing on him. Here's the robotic arm. I made sure to put as much detail on it as possible. And those are like, you know how like a motherboard, that's what this is, like a motherboard piece that operates the arm and helps move the arm a bit better, got all the heavy weight on it. But the motherboard piece moves to the wrist over here, which this one can produce shock waves through the fingertips when the Staff of Life isn't in its hand. And the boots are just normal fancy boots. I would say that if they were, but they aren't. They actually work with this gauntlet here, or this little middle piece on his arm. They act as weights. So as I mentioned, there's a villain that can use gravity magic. Well, these boots and this wrist wear keeps him weighed down, even facing off against gravity-based or any air-based magics. Now for the X's, we have all of the X's from all of the different factions. We have Soul Sword here. We have Nature Guardian here. We have, I forget, man. We have Dark Army right here, though. Hope's Army is right here. Chaos Faction is right here. And I believe I already said this one. Yeah, oh yeah, this one is the Titan Trio right there. I hope you like this one. I put it took me 2 days and like at least 8 hours to finish this drawing. So hope you like it. Like, comment, or subscribe. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and peace.